Welcome back, everyone, to Fathom Hobbies. This is Season 2, Episode 1 of Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon. And we are just setting up, we just finished a setup round. We went through Bayor's introductory letter. We got Bayor set up on the board. I decided I'm going to make this a co-op game. So I'm going to also add Maggot onto this. We've got Maggot's board set up. I've got his cards set up. So we're going to make this a two-player co-op so we can show those features of that. So we're kind of like, this will be set up round 2. We're just going to go through Maggot's backstory. I've got the Maggot miniature along with Bayor here. And let's kind of go into this. We can have them start out in Connacht. I will put the men here set up here and set this to the right token here. And that'll give us some time. We can read through Bayor's, Maggot's backstory, and we'll jump right into gameplay after that. So yeah, with the men here, we got the men here on this, and like I mentioned, we have a paint through video of this, and we're also playing with the, we got those metallic Tainted Grail coins on this game, so we'll get those on the board. I've also got the Tainted Grail Book of Memories. So we've got advanced abilities for both Bayor and Maggot once they earn them. And those are earned through the this additional character sheet. Bayor's got Of Fire and Steel. And Maggot has got Renegade Fiber by Fiber. I'm just going to put those over in the box for now. They won't come into play until we win some of those. So we'll leave that there. And then I'll jump into Bayor's backstory. One thing is we've got the Diplomacy and Combat pool of cards, both for Bayor and for Maggot. I will put these off to the side with the Advancement pool card on the top for each of their cards. I've already built these decks, and sent them off. We've got the initial locations here, so we'll jump into exploration of the Connacht Farmhold after we do our introductions. Before we do, quick shout out to this channel's sponsor, Pontos Fathom Press. As you guys know, the channel is not monetized, but if you go check out our links below, we can go check out the Cat 2 Journals out of Lovecraft's Providence, hardcover compendium for Lovecraft fans. We have a sister channel, Pontos Fathom Press, that you can go and check out some details behind the scenes if you're interested and want to support the channel. There's also Alchemy and Anthroposophy and the Dune Saga and Artificial Psychoanalysis of Desiring Machines. Go check out the books. Helps to support our channel, as do liking and subscribing here on the channel. We have a Patreon if you are interested, where for as little as $1 you can read some of the content, and you can keep abreast of our miniature painting and gameplay for A Song of Ice and Fire, Joan of Arc, and Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon. We'll be playing through most of Tainted Grail this year. Happy New Year, everyone. Let's jump into Maggot's backstory. So we've got Maggot's letter here. We've just read Bayor's letter. As we know, Bayor, he is the local smith known for short temper and incredible strength. He does his best to conceal a festering, unhealable wound on his side that he received under mysterious circumstances. With Maggot, who's sort of joining him now here in Connacht, we're going to get a renegade druid. So Maggot's story, he's a recovering addict. Dream Dial tosses a dial. It says Maggot, a renegade of the druidic order whose initiate powers are curbed by his destructive addiction to mixtures and mushrooms used by the druids. So he is a character indeed. You can see that Maggot is more skilled on the sort of magical side with caution and spirituality, where Bayor is more on the physical side with practicality, aggression, and courage. And we've got their combat and diplomacy deck set. Let's read Maggot's backstory. It says, I loathe to write you, Maggot, yet if you have received this message, it means I am dead. You were right. The sagas of old are true, and our island once belonged to a twisted immortal power. Arthur, the first of the kings, subdued this realm inch by inch. With his knights and his armies, he took the Grail from the Four-Dwellers and used it to bring seasons and cycles known from our world into this godless place. You druids always told us the men here in our village were created to immortalize this. But now I know the truth. It was created to keep these ancient powers out, to anchor this island in the world of mankind. Well, you all have failed. Now the granaries stand empty, the spring won't come, and the men here in our village darkens by the day. I admit I want to flay every druid until I discovered the reason, but the priestess Neante claims you had nothing to do with it. That's why I gathered 5 of our best people. I'm leading them east to help in finding Camelot before it's too late, before the land fragments and sinks into the weirdness. I did not ask you to join my retinue, because as much as I dislike druids, a man who betrayed even them seemed like a poor bet. Still, if we failed, I have no one else to trust. Rise, maggot. Do what you can to save this land. This is my final wish. Lord Yavin. So we've got Beor's letter. We've got Maggot's letter. Let's kind of jump into the order of the day. So we'll jump right into round 1. We're going to start by removing expired menhirs. The menhir is not expired. But what we will do is we'll explore the Connacht farmland. And we can do that individually. So let's go ahead and take a look at 101. Reduce all time in the menhir dial. So let's reduce the menhir time by 1. Okay, so reduce him down. Next order of the day is let's reveal the next event card. So the event card says Ancient Knowledge. It says the time is short. The guardian menhir that has been protecting your town since the ancient days is about to go dark. Rumor has it that there's a secret druidic ritual that may help you rekindle this menhir. You must explore the locations surrounding Connacht to find it. So earn a menhir rights secret card. To do so, you will have to explore the locations surrounding Connacht. As soon as you have the menhir rights, resolve the Chapter 1 Part 5 card from the event deck and discard this card. Remember not to change the structure of the rest of the deck. Hint, if this is your first game, try to return to Connacht at the end of this day and spend a night there to read the dream, as dreams often contain hints. Okay, so let's keep that active quest here on the top of the event deck. Well, we have no guardians to move. Let's pick an active and secret cards. So let me just see how that works. Picking active and secret cards. So picking active and secret cards. Never did it before. Active items and secret cards. At the start of the day, you have several items or secrets that change keyword. Decide what you will do. Some of them have a C. Freely trade this. So we can pick an item and a secret card. So let's just see. Turn. I just want to see how the turn goes here. So turn example. Basic rules. So it says equip for the journey. So I guess you can pick an items card each. So let's just each pick an items card. Active item. And I guess we can turn this to item secret 1. I'm supposing. I'm not sure how it works. Guys, give me a clue down in the description if you want. Down in the comments. Okay, so now let's go to during the day. We can perform 1 action. So let's go ahead and says chores for the townsfolk. Gain 1 reputation once per day. Its history is vast as a graveyard. Its failures as empty as its houses. So this is the Connacht farmhold. So let's go ahead and read from the description here for 102. So we've got, for 101. Go to 101. A deep feeling fills everything in Connacht. From dilapidated farms to the sunken eyes of those who remain in town. The men here in the market are all but extinguished, and everyone brave or resourceful has had enough left to find a solution. If you have the Winds of Weirdness status, remove this location card from the game and replace it with location 121. Then explore new locations for free. If you have Secret 66, go to verse 4. If you have the Hunter's Mark, go to verse 6. Otherwise, choose one. Visit families of the champions from the first expedition. So let's have Bayor go visit. Bayor is going to go visit champions from the first expedition, and then we'll have Maggot. He is going to wander around the alleys twisted by the weirdness. Oh, that's only if the Men Here model is not in this location. Okay, so we're going to ask the town folk to help me prepare. So Bayor will visit families, and Maggot will help the townfolk asked to prepare. So we go to verse 1. This is Bayor. Bayor, this long winter, nearly everyone had lost a friend or family member. First to hunger, then to disease. Finally, the 5 remaining pillars of the community, the only heroes this land has ever known, suddenly left. Now when you look into the distant eyes of the last remaining residents, you realize they want to forget. So 1, I can loosen their tongue with mead. There's an old custom. I can pay 1 wealth or 1 food and go to verse 2. Okay, so I'm going to loosen their tongue with mead. There's an old custom, a late night wake for those who wander from their home. Holding it for everyone who left their expedition won't be cheap, though. Yeah, so let's go ahead. I'm going to pay a wealth. I've got an extra food. I think food is easy to come by. I'll pay 1 food, and I will get to read this. It takes a while to break the silence of the grief-stricken people, but when you do so, stories of separations and departure flood you like torrential rain. You try to remember every detail, the color of a palfrey horse the village priestess Neante rode, the ornament on the hauberk the young Lord Yavin wore, the strange drinking horn Ephir the smith used to lug around, the birthmark of Fael the master huntsman, the embroidered cape of Obert, the seasoned traveler who'd seen in this parts of the island. Who knows what details can help you down the road? Gain 1 part of the fate of expedition status. Exploration ends. Okay, so he's going to gain part 1 of the fate of expedition status. So here's fate of expedition status. Let's see the fate of expedition status. Gain part 1 of the fate of expedition status. Where is that? Okay, we'll go look for that after in the break. So we'll go now to. We will now go over to Maggot. He is going to ask the town folks to help you prepare. Go to verse 3. Though they have little left, they share with you their last remaining supplies. Somehow this seems unworthy of a hero. But since all the true heroes were lost, who will dare to question your methods? If you have at least 1 reputation. Does he have any reputation? No. And don't have the Scrounger status. Each party member gains 2 food. Gain 1 random item in the Scrounger status. Exploration ends. So, okay, we don't gain anything, but that's fine. So I guess we get to leave the exploration. That's going to be perform any 1 action for any of the day. End of the day. Rest. Consume 1 food to restore any health. If you don't have food, you're already this. Restore to full. Advance your character by spending EXP. Modify your dex. If you're in a location with the dream icon, read the dream. So let's go ahead and have him read the dream. So we'll have Maggot read the dream. In your restless dream, a pale lady rises from the water, her eyes milky and her skin spotted with rot. She whispers something into your ear. Her breath smells of sea salt, kelp, and rotten fish. You barely remember the words. There was something about 3 enigmas, 1 hidden under the Isle of the Dead, and 1 clutched in the grasp of the burned hands and arms. 1 buried in the mist-covered mound, but what could it mean? Hint. The dream refers to 3 out of 8 locations surrounding Connacht. It's possible some of them are not yet revealed. Okay, so there's some clues about maybe these 4 locations that we're going to get to probably in the next round. Okay? So modify your cards, read the dream, start the next day. Okay, well that's going to just about do it for day 1. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you in day 2 with Bayor and Maggot on the Fall of Avalon. Talk to you next game. Bye-bye.